Welcome to How to Decorate from Ballard Designs, a weekly podcast all about the trials and triumphs of decorating and redecorating your home. I'm Caroline, I'm on the marketing team.
And I'm Taryn, and I'm a product designer.
I'm Liz, I head up the creative team.
We're your hosts. Join the expert team at Ballard Designs for tips, tricks, and tales from interior designers, stylists, and other talents in the design world.
Plus, we'll answer your decorating dilemmas at the end of each episode.
We love answering your questions, so don't forget to email us at podcast@ballarddesigns.net.
Now, on with the show.
We are thrilled to welcome Meredith Page and Liz Livingston, the creative minds behind Page House Studio, an Atlanta-based interior design firm with a combined 15 years of experience in the industry. Their studio focuses on interior design projects of all size, as well as their own bespoke collection of accessories that lend a polished touch to any room. Meredith and Liz, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
It's always fun to have a duo because
We are a duo.
yes,
We don't go anywhere without the other, pretty much.
two brains or one mind and two bodies.
Exactly.
Okay, y'all have a great origin story, so maybe we should start there. How you met and how you started your business, Page House.
Sure. I guess it's kind of a multi-part answer. We are both from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and we met, I guess, probably in high school. And it didn't take long. We just became best friends. We went to college together, University of Alabama. Then I moved to Nashville and she moved out to LA. And then I called her and said I was tired of Nashville. I'm coming out to LA. And then years later, I moved to Atlanta and she decided she was coming to Atlanta. So we don't
leave each other's side.
Yeah. The other day, I was picking my kids up from school and I saw a teacher who was my daughter's old teacher, and she was trying to tell someone else who I was. And she said, "Oh, it's Liz's other half." And my husband was standing right there and he was like, "Exactly." So, yeah, that about sums it up. We are kind of inseparable and
It's great. Yeah. So we lived in LA together, and Meredith worked for some incredible firms in Nashville and Los Angeles. I worked previously in the entertainment industry and left to go work in textiles. And we always talked about starting a business together. We wanted to do this in LA, and the timing just wasn't right. And once we moved to Atlanta and had our kiddos, we felt like it was time to do something together.
Yeah, it was probably summer of 2020. My husband, Chris, and I moved here. He's originally from here.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been working since I was out of college for other designers. And I was like, this is finally my time. Take all what I learned and all that experience and really go out on my own. And my in-laws were instrumental in introducing me to all their neighbors and friends who needed design help. So I got busy really fast. And then we were house hunting and kept striking out. So we decided to build a house. So that was my first really big project that I was thrilled about. And yeah, we've just stayed busy. Fast forward to a few years later is when we started the product line together. And that's when Liz really came on the team. And yeah, we just made a brand out of the business I had already started. I feel like it was finally time to focus on products and really strengthen what our design aesthetic was and our perspective. And so together with all of her experience working for e-commerce and retail and marketing, it was just kind of a no-brainer. It kind of was just serendipitous and took off. So
I love your collection. It's really echoes your design style and what you do for your clients, because you have such a edited eye, and then the product, I guess it's not just accessories, but it's more, decorative accents, really emphasizes that and kind of embodies what the rooms kind of channel in each item. Which is
sure. So our foundational product is the pedestal. After working in Nashville and Los Angeles, so many different types of environments, there was always just this one design element that was in the equation for how we finished a room, and it was a pedestal. Whatever material it came in, whatever shape it was in, we always integrated one into the style, and it finished a room so perfectly. And so then when all my friends were moving into their family houses and their forever homes, they would invite me over. Of course, they would ask me what to paint their living room and all of that, but they would always have like a dead corner, something, a blank wall, and they were like, I just don't know what to put here, what goes here. I have too many tables, I have too much art on the wall, and I just started kind of thinking, a pedestal, do they not know about this item? Has this not crossed over into like more mainstream? And I would say it, and sure enough, like they didn't. So I realized that there was a huge gap in people who had worked with a designer and those who hadn't really had that opportunity yet. And so when we were working on what the product line would be, I really wanted to center around the pedestal because it's such a product that's like a blank canvas. You can wrap it and you can have so much fun with it. Such an opportunity and a great way to finish a room and style it. And so, yeah, that became our niche product and we've kind of expanded from there. But that was the aha moment of going into my friends' houses after they had become adults and they really wanted it to look like they had styled it properly and it was elevated and polished and all of that. And there was just always a blank spot that they couldn't figure out. So
an empty corner is a challenge. Taryn made a great point when we were chatting.
I don't know when. Let's find out.
Well, just about Ballard, like our.
Yeah.
You I don't want to steal your thunder.
Fine. I was saying it's so funny that, you had this one thing that everyone kind of wanted and needed, and you're like, great. And really, truly, that's historically how we started as well. Is like Helen Ballard had this one table, and then everyone wanted, and then she's like, well, let me.
And the column was like a huge.
And the column was in our logo until when?
Forever. I think up until maybe 15 years ago.
2000s,
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
Little,
I remember that now. I
column.
had never connected. It's like wherever we go.
It had like
the pedestals follow.
And think about like the 80s, all the pedestal tables and stuff. So that was sort of the Ballard origin.
Right.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's such a good
So I just loved how almost your brand and kind of where you began, is the same kind of.
Yeah, it's very similar.
It really was. It came out of the realization that like it's something so easy and a go-to item for us, and others may not know about it and how much of an impact it has in a room and how easy it is. It feels like a very slender silhouette and very simple, but it really makes an impact if you put something grand on top of it or something like a statement. And yeah, it feels like a perfect solution to any little dead area.
It's a great focal point. Okay, tell everybody though the fabrication and what you do with your pedestals though. Okay, right? Because you're talking about just a pedestal and you're making it seem so like la-di-da, but yours are gorgeous. And they're, very special. They're very clean, but the details are very special. So maybe walk everybody through that.
Oh, yes. They weren't always that way. It took some iterations of prototypes. I'll let you.
Yeah, we kind of wanted the pedestal to also be its own piece of art. So we wanted it to also be, jewelry in the jewel box. So we started actually, Meredith's father retired and he helped us make our first prototypes, and he's still very much involved in our business, which is incredible to have such an amazing family member involved. And he's just makes me laugh so much. I love him, adore him.
Oh, shout out to Dad.
Shout out to Jerry. So he helped make our first frames, essentially, of the pedestal. And then Meredith and I felt really strongly that we wanted to touch and feel and make all the first prototypes ourselves by hand. It was really important for us because we know wallpaper can be so temperamental, and the thickness, a vinyl versus a paper, and how it's wrapping around, for 90-degree angles is different than just applying it to a blank wall. So we actually were in Meredith's garage in 32-degree weather.
No,
freezing
it was
to death.
19 degrees.
19-degree
I have it
weather.
stamped on the story. 19
Our fingers
degree.
were frozen with wallpaper glue, like stuck together, trying to wallpaper these pedestals. But so we have very funny photos from that. But we learned so much. We worked with some incredible wallpaper installers that helped teach us the craft so that we could do this on our own. And we got very technical pretty quickly because we care so much about the product. So like you said, we put a lot of care into our seams, how the wallpaper is applied. Probably shouldn't be giving away our secrets, but sometimes we use razor blades to make every single cut. So it's a very tedious process. And it looks so simple. Like we wrapped a pedestal in wallpaper, but it's not. It actually takes some incredible labor to produce them. And we work with really great artisans that help us pull them together.
Right. So you have, wrapped in grass cloth, some in wallpaper. They can send you a wallpaper.
Yeah.
They're paper mache. Maybe kind of just walk through because, Meredith, especially your home is so edited and I love how clean it looks. So I think from far away, some of the pedestals, they blend so effortlessly, but they're, they have really beautiful textures up close.
So we've been accused of being neutralist. I don't think that we are. I think we celebrate color in a very intentional way. But all of our pedestals are typically a neutral. The grass cloth comes in an ecru and a saddle color. And then we have the paper mache, and we also have the lime wash painted and the plaster. And it is meant to feel like a little tonal to a room and something where you can really play with. If your room is, I just love a space that feels very layered with texture and materiality versus a ton of print and pattern. So we really wanted the pedestals to feel very natural within the backdrop.
Yeah.
But play along with the furnishings. So there is just this fine art of feeling like it kind of comes out of the wall and it's a part of the drapes and everything that is vertical and the hard surfaces, but also really a delicate piece that kind of speaks to your coffee tables and your other tables and your seating and upholstery. So that's where we just wanted to give options as well. So we feel very confident that the grass cloth and the plaster and the paper mache are all just great materials that feel like they elevate any space.
Yeah, we kind of always play with this idea of this nod to a classical form or a classical medium with this fresh and new eye to it. So something like paper mache was something that we just fell in love with, of really celebrating that medium. It's an incredible process to see it being made. And so when we started playing with pedestals and understanding all the different textures that we wanted incorporated, we loved that kind of imperfect nature of the paper mache. And so that has been a really incredible art form that we've had the opportunity to work with. And we've expanded that line throughout. So from the paper mache pedestal came our paper mache frames, which have been so well received. We're obsessed with them. We just launched 3 smaller scale frames to accompany our larger Elisabetta frame. And so we're just going to continue working with some of those art forms that haven't been celebrated recently and trying to kind of bring them back in a fresh new way.
Yeah. It seems like this art, we've been talking about this internally a lot, more artisanal and artistic. Even handicrafts has been, I was pitching to Taryn on grandma crafts recently, but have really been coming back just because,
we have to. I mean, we have to offset all of the fast shopping that we do. I mean, all of that is a little necessary and it's addictive and, just way too convenient. And we have to slow down, especially when it comes to our houses and our homes and what these backdrops are that are making all of our memories and our kids' memories. We want really timeless pieces. Those types of pieces take time to make. And that's our intention behind the paper mache, is to slow down and bring in just something that has really been, it is art and has been just carefully crafted, and it will stand the test of time. It will be there for your kids who are our kids who are toddlers now to inherit one day and be that piece that mom was always putting something different on it. I never knew what to expect. What was it? We always knew it was spring because the dogwood branches came in and were on the pedestal. And so it just is that great unicorn kind of piece for the interior. You can just use it however you want.
Okay, that is actually one thing I love that y'all do is you do supply these gorgeous pedestals, but you also give us something to put on it. Because I think, you can see where maybe a pedestal might live in your house, but where do you acquire just that perfect item to display? That also is sort of a piece of the puzzle that feels intimidating, but you've solved that.
Yeah. Right. It feels like when we are designing and when we're building and we're packaging them and sending them off, we're hoping for that person that opens it up and says, oh, I want to do so many things with it. This is how I keep my interior fresh. This is my item in the house that keeps me accountable to kind of keeping things moving and seasonal and celebrating all the different pieces of nature that come around all year long. But, if they're not, if you want to put your favorite thing on it and stick it in a corner and never touch it for a few years, that's fine too. As long as it's doing its job, is taking up space and drawing your eye to what you want it to. But I think the vessels play a huge part in that. And we think about it constantly, how round is or how large is the diameter for this one, and how, people can't stick branches in that. They're just going to, fall to the sides. We really want to, consider all of that and then offer just such an array of them. Our favorites are the ones we make in-house, and the other ones we want to feel like they are such good partners to the pedestal. We really try to keep it edited. So we have some more Moroccan compotes that have the large mouth, and you can fill with whatever, dried artichokes or ornaments or, just that's such a fun way to do it. We have taller vessels with narrower diameters that are great for the branches. So we like to think, hopefully someone wants to buy a lot of these and change it up and offer just such a different outfit for the pedestal, given the mood, given the season, given the occasion. So
and we have some really amazing new pedestals launching in January and February of next year. So just a fun little teaser.
Nice. All right. Yeah. Help us through this whole, what am I putting on a pedestal? Because that's the other, here I am. I know I have I can use a vessel. I get it. But give me this step by step.
Well, it is going to be your favorite thing that you've ever bought when you finally
You will love it.
You will love it. When you do
party thing, I'm going to be falling pedestals in.
Yes.
You need this.
Exactly. You can have 3 and different heights and tier it.
In the same room? Okay.
Would you put them next to one another or spread them out?
We have in our studio a great little vignette with varied heights, and it just all has one big beautiful, or each have a sculpture that's similar, and it just tells a great story. Everyone that comes in the studio comments on it. We should photograph it.
I'm okay,
put it on the to-do list.
Yeah.
it will become your favorite theme because it does solve such a dilemma when you're walking around your house and you're like, I've always just like, I don't know what to do with that one. That one little spot.
What are some examples of the empty spot? Like, is it a corner? Is it in a window? Is it a hallway?
It's where, like, I always think of a living room. My living room, we have these big sliding doors, and our sectional takes up a lot of space. And then we have a side table, but there's still space behind it that just craved to be like a moment. And the drapes, it wants to just have some verticality to what you're looking at when you're entering the living room. You have the art, you have the seating area, you have the coffee table. It wanted just one extra dimension to feel like, okay, this is such a layered room. And
Yeah, and the idea of layering a room also was just such a important part of our ethos and what we wanted to do with our products. So the pedestal we felt like was that kind of designer secret weapon that we're trying to bring back to life and like educate the customer on. And then we just felt like, okay, every time we walk into our friends' homes, it's like they have the empty corner, but they know how to buy the sofa and the coffee table and maybe a rug, but they don't know how to like layer a space. And so from there, we started really expanding on, okay, how do we layer a space when we're designing for our clients? And we wanted to create products that kind of touched every surface of the room, was the intentionality behind that. So that's why we expanded into stools and with an incredible fringe that has that movement so that you kind of have that natural ease that you feel in a room as opposed to just so structured. And then obviously with softer goods like pillows, and we have candles for your tabletop. So we've just really been expanding on like, what is that essential layer and how do we bring that to life and make sure that everything coordinates together. So we also sell sets for someone who's really struggling with that. It's like at the click of the button, you can buy the entire Page House set to elevate and layer your room effortlessly like a designer.
Yeah.
Yeah. While we're talking about this, I'm like thinking about my own home and I'm like, why do I need a pedestal? I apparently need a pedestal. But how do you I think for most of us, we know that something's missing from a room. Like it just feels like something's missing. But yeah, I think to your point, Caroline, how do you know where that corner is? Like, can you just like tell somebody, like, just go stand in that corner and like,
oh yeah, use your husband, test it out. I want everyone listening right now to bring in a partner and just have them go stand somewhere with like something cool on their head and see if it brings you joy and makes you feel like, okay, that's it. That's what I've been missing. It's just when the spaces feel like you've got art over here. I don't want anything to compete with this art.
Right.
I've got drapes over here. There's just this wall. I don't know what to do with. I have a blank wall in between our pantry and our bar, and it's like kind of in a corridor, and it just felt like I don't want it to be flat. I really want it to feel more of a vignette. And so I put one there as well. They're all over my house.
Okay, so how many do you have in your house?
Well,
I know.
It depends on the day. We're constantly fluffing them out as
could
well.
We have created a less heavy
exactly
product that we're carrying around?
We both have standing appointments at our chiropractor because the kids and the pedestals. So yeah, there's just this one short wall that felt like if I put a piece of art there, it would just it just not be quite enough.
Yeah.
It wanted to feel like more depth there, like it was more considered, because it is a very high traffic pass through, and pedestal is just not that, that you could put a console table and a lamp. it felt a more interesting choice because we have console tables and other places with lamps on them. It felt like just, this is a perfect thing to just make it a more interesting walk. And it is so close to the kitchen as well. And it feels like it's more of the like casual, play around with it with more pretty china. And, I sometimes have like a little plate stand for it if, it's a,
What's your favorite height one? Or do they all, selling wise?
So for the trade, we do offer, and for anyone who really does inquire, we want to accommodate everyone. But for the trade specifically, we always let them know we will do custom dimensions and sizing, and so we've gotten some pretty interesting,
pretty large. In width, not necessarily in height.
What's the width? 30, 40?
They
want a table.
Yeah, they went
big. They
went big, but they sent us photos after, and it was gorgeous. I mean, it really took up this space that they needed with this very large room, and the scale didn't look oversized in that room. And so it was really awesome to create that and see how it looked in the finished space. We love when people share their spaces with us.
I think ours are 40 and 42. That's a perfect height for then putting like a nice size vessel on it. And then I keep referencing branches. That's my favorite thing to go pick in the backyard and bring inside. It feels like it's hard to get a great tree in your house. This kind of is the placeholder for a tree. When you have something at that height and you have these big sprawling branches out of it, it feels really grand and nice.
And you don't have to worry about killing your tree and replacing it.
You don't need a green thumb.
I have several times.
Or an arrangement for a certain holiday. Or
exactly.
So now I'm wondering though, like, okay, so heights of ceilings come in so many different. I'm sure that also changes the scale of which you're buying your height of yours. So if you have 8-foot ceilings, would you maybe go for a shorter one? Versus like if you have 10-foot?
Have 8-foot ceilings.
Okay. And what's your favorite height
and I love the 42-inch, especially in my dining room. I actually have a very large piece of art that my father-in-law gave us, but it's not like my exact style. And I put 2 pedestals in either corner, kind of in front of it with vessels, and it just kind of made it feel a little bit more
hidden,
residential. It made it feel like just more lived in. And I have some of our vessels on top, and love styling it for the holidays and bringing in those.
It's a very graphic piece of art, so I think softened it with some nature was really
Okay,
sorry.
I know y'all both have kids, so obviously maybe this is not an issue, but I just picture like child running into it.
Oh, that's the first thing my dad yes, because he's protective of his grandkids. Yes, we've made them pretty sturdy, which again is why our backs are hurting. And shipping them out is.
We've played around with the weight being in all different areas of the pedestal, like the middle, the top, the bottom. And so we've really tested that out in so many different ways. And we're still continuing to improve upon our process like every day. But we've definitely, my children are very rambunctious.
And mine, not too even.
Yeah, so do mine.
Don't go near the pedestal.
Just with the like baby stroller like ramming into it, So we've tested them in our own homes with our crazy children.
I mean, I figure, if you've got several, then they're probably
yes. We did consider that for sure. They are pretty sturdy and not unlike any other precious item in the house.
Sure, things get broken. I just I don't know.
It's more the big lampshades in my house that always seem to be a magnet for any ball that's being thrown.
Mine is the marble like tabletop on like an antique piece of furniture that slides. That's been my biggest scare with my children.
That marble's heavy.
Yes, and when they I don't know. Yeah. We're trying to figure out how to secure this better.
Yeah.
Well, I like that you mentioned that height is so important. I remember when I moved into my very first apartment, my mom gave me that piece of advice. She told me you need to have something at every level. And I always found that a really hard piece of advice to put into practice because you've got drapes. Okay. I guess you have wall art. At the time, I didn't really have that great of wall art, but maybe a tall bookcase, but you can't have more than one in a room. And so there was always sort of this, everything's low to the ground. And how do you bring more stuff up? And to the pedestal is really kind of a perfect.
Yeah, I just feel like it's and this ties back to designers really understanding its impact and it not being something that was quite as accessible to others outside the industry. But I feel like it's just a very sophisticated way to highlight a space that may otherwise just feel like just not supported and kind of blank and like you didn't care to, acknowledge it was there.
But I feel like everyone has that in their house. Like everyone has a place. They've like surveyed friends and family, be like, this is a weird spot. What do I do here? So it's a great
that
answer.
really was the aha moment of just being like, okay, I thought I came to meet the baby, but you should paint that, Swiss coffee and it was always the same sort of just like space that felt it just deserved a little moment, a little more like a second look. And like, have you tried a pedestal? And I would get kind of a blank stare. And I'm like, hey, remember that for when you have time to develop something in that space.
And we often talk about how every room needs something living. Like so many people come through here and been like, every room just craves that, whether or not it's cut fresh florals, fresh branches, or if it is house plants. But any of those being brought up onto a surface where you can visually, again, see green, connect with nature, I think really it gives, again, that safe space that people are really craving in their homes and creating that whole, like,
that is
nature.
Something we definitely were influenced by when we both lived in SoCal. And I got married in Santa Barbara. I love that spot so much. So in LA, when we were living there and I was working in the industry there, that was just the no-brainer. It just, you always had the sliding doors open. You always felt like the exterior was part of the interior. There was no, differentiation. It just was, they worked in tandem together. And so that's huge for us to make every room feel like it has that same respect towards nature. And
we just shared on our YouTube a house tour with James Farmer, and he has a pair of columns on either side of a tabletop with just ferns. And I was so surprised by that because they literally were just ferns. But the act of elevating it up high and it's just on a white ionic column antique.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Ferns are, they are basic and beloved for a reason. They're so quirky with their shape and so dense and like such great texture. I love
color green is so vibrant.
Yeah.
And apparently the ferns also like being elevated up high. And it's good for their air circulation.
Yeah, I guess that's why people hang them so much.
That makes too much sense.
So anyway, where I was going with this is that, even if you don't quite know what to display on it yet,
sure,
maybe you haven't found just the right piece, just start with a fern or a houseplant.
So easy.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you, it's just one extra surface for your holiday decorating too. A little beautiful sparkly tree or just, it's just it's dealer's choice, however you want to work with it that day,
Wait, so what are you going to do for the holidays? Did you do anything Halloween-y on it?
Oh, yes, we put a pumpkin on it.
Okay.
Just a little promo to say Happy Halloween.
And so then what would you do for Christmas?
Gosh, what all have we done?
We've tied like big velvet ribbons around the pedestal or the vessel, and then done
Cute.
huge like branches with like some sparkly faux branches or berries. What else?
Yeah, it just fits
We
right
did-
in with
Yeah.
we've done a lot of good promotions for it. Some of them were just to grab the attention, maybe not quite so practical. But yeah, we mentioned earlier a big, beautiful compote with ornaments, if you're more subtle, and then just string some lights around it. Light her up.
I love that. That's fun.
What a wonderful way to just mark time in your family too.
I think so. I really was a little nostalgic the other day. My kids say the word pedestal all the time. And so they were just kind of, I think they were watching us ship some out. And anyway, they were just kind of playing around them. And I was like, it is such a like a piece that, of course, it's so sacred to us. But I think if you give it that spot in your home and you do constantly have a different version of it that excites them, that's a really special thing. And I hope that it sparks kind of a
Like
few
tradition,
memories.
a new tradition with your family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's much more than just a box, as my dad lovingly called it from the beginning.
He said it's just a box.
Yeah, we were sitting on the beach and I was working with a friend back in LA, helping her kind of finish out her breakfast area. And I was like, oh, this corner feels a little blank. And are you wanting to add anything there? And so I was helping convince her that that's what it needed, a pedestal. And so I sent her a couple links. She's like, these are so expensive. Are you kidding? And like, actually, I have some like wallpaper left over. Maybe I can make one and ship it to you, and that would be more affordable. And so my dad was sitting next to me and we were having cocktails and was like, would you be able to build this for me? And he was like, I'm not following a pedestal. Like, what are we talking about here? And so I really actually drew it out in like some like harder sand. And he was like, why are you complicating this? It's just a box. Like, what? Of course I can build a box. You just need like something like, yeah. And I was like, okay, done. I'll figure out how to wallpaper it later. So that was kind of the origin story of how, I mean, that was probably a year before we really started developing what it would
Prototype, yeah.
eventually be.
Yeah.
But yeah, he calls it a box. Which, yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong. But yeah, I love how you've turned that whole concept into sort of the concept for the brand and all of the other pieces in the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool.
We are so excited about creating more, converting like the business into a brand. That's just so important to us. We have what's called the column on our site. It's a tutorial where we go inside of the homes of all of our friends and people we find inspiring, and just do a little interview, take some beautiful pictures of their homes, and kind of expand upon our creative needs. We just want to not be in a box. Back to that. We really want to love what we do, and we love interior design. We love product design, but we just want to keep expanding our creative selves. And so that's so great. We want to collab with chefs and florists and just have a lot of crossover and be more multi-hyphenate. And so it's so fun. I feel like it's work that comes from our hearts and not our heads. And it's great.
Yeah.
So,
I fell down the rabbit hole of that part of your website because it was really fun and inspiring to see where these pieces and these accents can fit within so many different styles of homes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end each interview with, okay, what are your favorite things to put on a pedestal?
yeah.
And it was really
It
fun
feels
and
like there's a
inspiring.
lot of little nuggets that we can always kind of circle back to the pedestal. And it's just, we love supporting other creatives and really collaborating and building. We're not from Atlanta and really felt like we have to put ourselves out there and do the effort of really building this community. And so it's been a great way to do that. And I love to write as well. And I love seeing the real homes of people who have kids.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it look too perfect. We really want to make it look real and like beautifully messy and and you can still have these elevated moments. We want the kids to feel like it's their home too. And this is not, your grandmother's house where everything's so precious and you can't play and all of that. We want them to have the childhood they need to have, but then we want the house to have moments where are extra styled and elevated for us. That kind of balance.
All right. I think it's time for a design dilemma. Are y'all on board?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll read it and then we can discuss. Hello, I'm a faithful listener. Thank you for your podcast. I've learned so much from your show. Thanks, Christina. I'm hoping you can share some wisdom on this area of my home. My loft has become a bit of a decorating dilemma. I want to make it cozier and add some drama, especially since our home is tucked into the Minnesota woods. It definitely leans toward cabin lodge vibe. I originally went with blue tones, but the space feels kind of bland. The layout is also tricky because of the two intersecting doorways, which makes furniture placement a challenge. It's our main TV watching spot, but it's just me and my husband, so we don't need a ton of seating, just something that works well for us. What can I do to make the space feel cozier? Do you have any ideas for different furnishings that might work better in the space? Thank you for sharing your insights. I've included photos and a floor plan. Christina. Okay, she's got sort of this plaid rug, a comfy looking blue velvet corduroy maybe sofa. The walls are sort of painted like a yellow. There's an exposed wood trim, and it is definitely quite small, but enough room for a little love seat and a recliner.
And it's a loft that's between the primary bedroom and the bathroom across the loft. So that it does kind of intersect a whole bunch of
Sure.
you have to keep a walkway.
Small but mighty. And I think being that it is right outside the primary, I immediately just feel like maybe this is an adult space. And I do think that I hear you on wanting to be comfy and having the cozy seating, but maybe the lounge chair becomes a little bit more of a sleeker, more
Maybe more
Tailored?
structured.
Okay,
I don't want to sound
structured or tailored.
a little bit more structured or tailored. You mentioned also adding some drama. So maybe this is an opportunity to do something antique, and maybe it's a beautiful chaise lounge with a gorgeous silhouette, or maybe it's a beautiful chair that's skirted. I would say that it probably could go lighter, being that the room is on the smaller side. I see your really cute doggy, and I'm sure he has a favorite spot. So I do think maybe if you are going lighter on the upholstery for both seating, that maybe you choose a nubbier fabric. I love the that you have a coordinated ottoman. I think that the ottoman could be switched out to something with legs and have a little bit extra curve to it.
Like
maybe
bigger, smaller? What size would you think?
I
makes
wouldn't
sense?
go too much bigger. I just would say that it feels like all of the upholstery is a little bulky and chunky. So like adding in some areas where the upholstery is attached to maybe just some pretty dainty iron legs, or some wood legs that flare out. that would really help make it feel like the space was more
breathable, less
yeah,
less
exactly.
heavy, a little more movement, and so that your eye can kind of see through and it's not hitting such big kind of like blocks of furniture.
Yeah. What about wall color or wallpaper or
It's
ways to
seems
kind of
like it kind of runs into the downstairs that this wall, there's no break in it. So it feels like maybe the walls are white, but the lampshades are casting a yellow hue. I don't know that it's an opportunity to wallpaper just because there are no breaks in the wall before the downstairs. So that may be a
Could
huge
you wallpaper the ceiling?
investment, but wallpapering the ceilings are great. Yeah. That's always a really good solution. Yeah, I think mostly it would be considering that all the upholstery and the seating area, the pieces feel like they're all from one kind of family, and making it feel like giving a little variation to like maybe add a pretty print on the secondary chair, skirting it, like even just a wide stripe, or just, doing something that speaks to the plaid on the rug would be great if it were a stripe version of that. And then I just think maybe Nancy Meyers it up and add some creams and really play off the tones of the rug, and where you can add some ivory and ecru would make it feel a little bit lighter and more inviting. So if that's through the throw pillows or just a throw, that would make a huge difference.
I think adding a pattern is great because right now all she has is a bunch of mismatching blue upholstery. We're not seeing any wood in it. We're not seeing any metal. There's not a lot of mixed materials. It's either brown or it's these different shades of blue. So I'm with you. I think either like sofa wise, I think you could do definitely an L. Like if she can fit a small, like I know this might be too small, but if she can find one with the longer one side so she could extend a little. Because she looks like she has a sofa, but behind the sofa she has a little table. But if she's not utilizing it for anything but like tchotchkes, like get that space back and give it to more of your sofa space. And I definitely think some drapes and some like woven shades over this like one window, because I'm sure that's her only light up there.
Sure.
So she probably wants that, but I think she needs some more colors in the furniture
and texture.
Yeah. Like add, like your side table is adorable, but it's brown. Your other side table does look antique and rough, but it's brown. The other side table's blue. So all we have is blue and brown. So like maybe vary it up a little bit with something that's oak or a light oak, or some metal finishes could potentially help.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you could find a perfect antique sort of daybed that is still just as comfy as the lounge chair, it would
That's fun.
Oh, a
And tuck it in
daybed
that
would be
corner.
really fun.
yeah, just a beautiful like chaise lounge that's maybe like a little curved.
Yeah.
Would feel really nice and like a great companion to a more comfy, cozy sofa. That they would kind of juxtapose one another instead of kind of feeling like the exact same thing, but in different sizes.
I'm sort of thinking about this wall with the TV, and it seems like because it's a small space, she's picked lots of small items. She's got sort of a media cabinet and then a little table next to it, and then a little table next to the sofa, and then a skinny table behind the sofa, and a little table. I feel like she needs to do fewer things, but maybe bigger, just because in a small space, adding lots of little things kind of sometimes has the opposite effect, right?
Exactly. And in a small space, people tend to kind of shove the furniture onto the perimeter. And I feel like maybe this is a case like that. And once you pull the furniture out and kind of re-examine it, you're like, oh, the space is a lot bigger. I can do things that are floating a little bit more. And yeah, I would say edit it down, maybe where that wood table with the table lamp on it, you could do a pretty sculptural floor lamp instead if you have the other wood table. So yeah, kind of take everything out and re-examine the space and what fits. And then
Do you think instead of that little table next to the television, she needs a pedestal?
yes, I was hoping I wasn't going to be the one.
Well, she has a plant sitting
she
in
has
the
a wonderful-
windowsill, so she could just put that on a pedestal and
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like if
it's
you're
true,
gonna
though.
if you're gonna do less items, each item needs to be really special. So pick like one long console that's like really great to put under the TV. And if she's gonna upgrade her sofa or do something there, like make that a moment, and then a really great chair, and then she can kind of take away some of the other little stuff.
Exactly.
The other thing I was thinking about is she has all of these little pieces of art. Maybe Christina putting all of the little pieces of art together on one wall
to make them feel like one bigger collection.
Suzanne Kasner always does this, where you've got these little,
and it always looks so good.
It always looks so good. You've got all of these little pennants. So you obviously collect these little pennants. Put them all together. Don't split them up.
No, her accessories for like the cabin vibe are spot on.
Oh, she's got skis on the wall. Like she's got a Ralph Lauren mountain house vibe. She can definitely pull off here.
Yeah.
The other thing I kind of thought about, because it looks like it's about 11 feet she has for the window wall. If she could get, like, if all they're doing is watching TV up here, girl, get yourself the biggest sofa you can fit. Put it up there and shove the TV over by the stairs. Like, can you make it work for you so that you could have this big, like, loungy sofa for you and your husband so you can both get horizontal? And get yourself a big coffee table so you can have dinner up there, too, when you want to watch in front of the TV.
Right?
However you live. And maybe they
ice
don't.
cream while you're
I think that, okay, if she were to put the sofa underneath the window, that's what you're proposing, right?
Yes.
So then the TV would need to go where the railing is, correct? So what does that? Do you put that on the wall with a
I put it on a.
Do you put it on a?
Yeah, it could be that based on the TV size, but I was even thinking you just put it on a console. But
Or an
it
easel.
totally depends. Or on an easel. Yeah, they have those cool easels.
Oh,
And I don't
those
know,
TV
again, how much
easels.
you can see from downstairs. It might end up that's not an option. She's probably like, no, I'll be looking at the back of a
Yeah.
But I do feel like if I was trying to maximize this little space and this is our hangout and all we do
But
is
she only needs 2 seating spots.
I hear you, but I also want to get
Just saying.
horizontal on this.
Yeah,
sofa.
yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to sit.
I don't sit. I lay.
No, it's
Lay.
cuddle up.
Yeah.
And right now they can't lay on the same. Like one of
Yeah.
them is on this little sofa, and then one's in this chair.
Unless they like it that way.
Maybe they like it, but if they just got a big sofa, they can lay
I can relate to that sometimes. You go over there and let me have that person.
Yeah, Christina's actually being like, absolutely not. We like our separate sitting spots. Don't even pretend. Yeah. So maybe that's the case. That was just another thing I had thought of. Like if she really wanted to like max out, make that whole window side just like put your big sofa, put your art all around.
I would get up there and play with the layout and just move stuff around until you feel like it's
Yeah. Throw it all in your primary bath or bedroom and just look at it empty and see what ideas pop up.
I will say, I love to think about what is the focal point. And when I'm walking up the stairs, I want something on the back wall to be kind of your,
You know what? That's
like,
a great point.
wow. So is it like a valance? Is it a great fabric on a Roman shade? Is it something
Two pendants,
to
two pedestals,
pedestals.
with some big
I initially
ferns in the corner.
went to that exact thought and thought the TV should be where the sofa is and the sofa be where, and just flip that if that were an easy, quick solution, just because
Maybe on the side of a sofa.
if you
Yeah.
recover that in a beautiful nubby beige grayish situation and style it a little bit more thoughtfully, then that could be just a really pretty view as you're
coming
up the stairs. And then I think that also gives you a little bit more room on the other side, where the chair is, that back wall, you could have a bigger, prettier, like I mentioned, a day bed or something more sculptural, more shapely over there if you kind of flipped the TV to be on the wall that's sharing with the primary bath.
Okay. Got
Instead of having the back of the chair right as you come up the stairs.
She did say, like, she does ask specifically, like, again, small space. And the good thing about a day bed is you might be able to get some great storage under there. As well as if you did an ottoman that was a storage ottoman.
Yeah.
That's another way. If you put your television on a console that you could even fit some little stools under, like the French ones you guys sell, or we have some cute little stools. That way you could have a few more seating options if that's something you're looking for. And then I definitely feel like drapes would really help. But she did say she wanted it cozier. She said, what can I do to make this cozy? And this to me feels pretty cozy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like if anything, it's more fabric.
Yeah, I think less items, give a little more space to the items. Don't just push them right up against the wall. And some reupholstery could go a really long way.
Yeah.
Adding a few more materials like metal or wood. I guess she has plenty of wood on the trim, but adding a few more
Mixed materials.
Mixed materials would have a lot of impact. So, but the dog is very, very cute.
I know.
Really
I'm sure
cute.
this is a really cozy spot.
I
And
know.
I
bet
love it.
that one chair's his.
Yeah. He's not giving her that.
Yeah.
I am thinking of the chaise lounge just for him and seeing him really perched.
Yeah.
He's
Right?
king. He's king of this.
Right.
People,
Yeah.
guys don't want to get rid of their recliner. I will say, we have some good-looking recliners. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this recliner, right? But
People love recliners. It's like a fan.
It looks like a recliner. We have some like sneaky recliners.
Yeah,
that look like
yeah.
chairs, but
If
also
they're
recline.
maybe skirted, or a little bit tighter of a upholstery.
But we do sympathize, Christina, because sometimes they're not going to get rid of their chair.
Yeah,
You know, what is that? Wait, wasn't there a Friends episode about the chair?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So
We've had quite a few dilemmas. If Christina's
have
been
been a
listening,
lot of-
there's
yeah.
been a lot that been like, my
Yeah.
husband will get rid of this chair.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
We know.
Yeah. That's why we made this pretty one.
Exactly. All right. Good luck, Christina. Thank you so much for listening to the show, truly.
Yes.
And
Such a sweet
stay
little
warm up there in
home.
Minnesota.
I know.
Well, thank you for chatting with us.
Yeah. Thank you
was-
for having us.
It's so fun to get to, dive into your website and I know we're all thinking of where in our house we're going to put our pedestal.
Yeah.
Well, we
'Cause-
also recently signed up. We were just blown away by the founder of TALD, TALD.
Mhm.
So we've started offering kind of like an online book an hour or 30 minutes with us to help like show you how we would style your space, even with our products. So it's just a nice kind of like entry point where someone could access us on a more personal level of how we think that they should use the pedestal in the space. So that's also like another opportunity that we're offering customers, and love getting to know people and meeting new people and helping them elevate their homes.
Amazing. Well, can you tell everyone where they can find and follow you and see your work?
Me?
she's
I'll
I'll
handle
comms.
head of comms. So our website is pagehousestudio.com. That is where all of our products can be purchased. We also have a trade program. We have just been blown away by the support from the trade and just have been so embraced by them and are so grateful. And so we offered really great trade program for them with custom sizes, sampling. And then on Instagram, it's Page House Studio, and Pinterest and Facebook, all the things. So yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Yes, this was great.
Lovely. Thank you, guys. And that's our show. You can find all of the show notes on our blog, howtodecorate.com/podcast.
To send in a decorating dilemma, email your questions to podcast@ballarddesigns.net so we can help you with your space.
And of course, be sure to follow us on social media at Ballard Designs.
Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Until next time, happy
Happy
decorating.
decorating.